podcast. Our theme song as always, and as always, thank you to Colin from Colin's Coffee for letting us use that. Darren, do you smell something funny in the office today?
I do smell something.
I smell something.
What do you think that is?
I think it smells like fear.
Fear.
Because we have with us
He's like
Matt
going to punch
Leber.
us.
We have with us Matt Leber, who is our Parks and Recreation Superintendent, and one of the members of the Monday pickleball crew who skipped out
He did.
on our pickleball because I think it's the last time he played. What happened, Darren?
I think we beat him. I think
I
it was you and me actually.
I think we did.
It was his first taste of defeat in like every game we've ever played of pickleball. He's never lost until then.
You've been tracking that.
I mean, it's very easy to remember that I've never beaten you until a day. Like, there's not a lot of stat regression analysis I have to do there. So.
I think we split last week, but you did win the last one.
That's what the one that matters. You haven't come back since.
I know.
It's like short memory, man. It's just like, pitchers and shooters. It's short memory. Short memory.
I will make an appearance sometime soon, and we'll see how it goes.
It's kind of like maybe you shouldn't, because now Steve and I can continue to brag about how he won the last matchup.
Yeah. We've poked the bear, which I did today. I did that with Tom Nutini.
That didn't go well for
no,
us.
he proceeded to spank us. Not literally, but figuratively. Yeah.
No, he's a high-level player, apparently.
He is.
We are not.
Yeah, he proved that to us today. So anyway, our listeners did not tune in to listen to us talk about pickleball.
I mean, we don't know.
No, they didn't.
We'll find out with hate mail and fan mail.
I was going to go there. So last week we released our new 2 new emails, and I know we've gotten some emails on fan mail and hate mail. I'm looking over at Brian.
Can you repeat the address, because my biggest fan / only listener, my dad, tried to email in fan mail and it got bounced back. Can we confirm that it's working, producer Brian?
It's working.
All right, I don't know what happened. Maybe
error.
I thought it was Brian putting his thumb on the scale, like, I want hate mail to get more emails, so I'm actually not going to activate fan mail.
So fan mail just mysteriously goes dark. I know my wife promised me she was going to send one in, and that she was going to do it to fan mail, because she's just a better human being than I am. So she went.
Well, the bad thing was that this is a theme of my life, but my dad was saying nice things about you in the email, which he forwarded me. So like, even my own dad thinks you're good.
Yeah, well,
I'm still the sidekick.
Holly was talking over the weekend. Darren's so funny. I just think he's so funny. So
thank you.
Me
Apparently
not so
people
much.
closest to us like the other one.
That's pretty typical. So, but what we've got Matt on today to talk about is all the cool stuff that's happening this summer in our parks. In particular, pools, what happens at our day camps, how many of those folks we serve. So Matt is, as I said earlier, Matt, what is your official title? I'm terrible with names and titles. I'm terrible with.
Recreation Superintendent.
Recreation.
I think you said that.
I said Recreation and Park Superintendent. Sam, the Queen of Fairyland, is the Park Superintendent. So I do not want to take away her Parks title, nor Queen of Fairyland, which she was so effective at last week.
And had a fantastic program on Saturday.
Did she?
They were building out at Smith, and they're now there. So go out and check them out. Pretty awesome.
They are real. That whole episode was not like this weird dream
No,
that I
it's
had.
not.
This actually happened.
So, which means Roger's probably out there doing inspections today. We'll have people out doing for building quality, and if there's anything that's unsafe for the fairs, we'll have people out doing revisions this week before we get everything fully permitted. Yeah.
I want to talk about pools, Matt.
Yeah.
This town has how many pools?
We have 3 pools, yes. Reed Road Water Park, Devon Pool, and Tremont Pool. They're all kind of equally spaced throughout the community. So, and they all have something for everybody. Reed Road Water Park's more your traditional water park, and has the water slides, a lazy river, some play features, a little playground in the water for the younger kids. And then Tremont has a climbing wall, has our lap lanes and the diving boards. Has a 0 depth entry, and then a play area. It's not quite a top pool, but it has a pretty good barrier to keep the children in that area. And then Devon Pool is more of a traditional kind of hole in the ground, has a T shape.
Way to really sell that.
No. They love Devon Pool.
It's got like cement and stuff on it, right? It's not just like dirt hole.
Yes, yeah, it has a liner. And that is where you can go for the high dive and the very nice top pool that we just had relined over the over the winter.
Now, it's not triple Lindy height, though, right?
No, it's not. But
Nice back-to-school reference, sir.
You like that?
When do these pools open?
Saturday, May 28th, Saturday.
Like breaking news.
So, we're gonna get them. Are we going to get them all open
Yes, we are.
this week?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is for our listeners, we are not immune to things like supply chain shortages and pools look like just a big body of water, but they are huge machines that have huge machines that go into them. We've had a little trouble with some pump parts, right?
Absolutely. As of right now, we're trying to get a part in, so we're on a bit of a tight timeline. And if the part comes in today or tomorrow, we will get it repaired and re-road is what we're talking about. And we will be fully operational for Saturday. If it comes in a little bit later, and it was supposed to be here on Friday, we would delay opening of Reed Road, but we're not there yet. But in terms of the other prep that goes into it, staffing, training, the ability to open the pool, we feel like we're in a really good spot. It's just unfortunately the supply chain with this part has made us a little bit delayed.
How many lifeguards do we use in a summer, and are we all full up, or if someone's listening is like, I want to be a lifeguard, can they still do that?
Yeah, no, we're definitely still taking applications. We got 7 new ones today, so that's exciting. And we now have 138 applicants. We will hire close to 120, and we have about 110 in the hiring process or already on board. So we've been doing training the last 2 weeks, and we'll continue to do training. Every night this week, each pool has an orientation and a training. So it is a very busy time for us, but we are still accepting applications.
And is it just lifeguards or lifeguards and like pool deck workers and all that sort of stuff?
The pool office workers, we're fully staffed, and same with the management team. And so it's really just lifeguards at this time. And a lot of that is because we don't know quite how many hours certain candidates want to work. And, naturally you want to plan for early departures or sudden things that come up. So you can never have enough lifeguards. And we've been working diligently since last fall, basically, on recruitment. We've gotten out into the schools, visited a lot. I think I was at the high school 8 times. I never ate lunch there, despite it being super tempting. It's probably the nicest high school lunchroom I've ever seen. But we got a great response. The students were really receptive to us, came up, talked to us, engaged with us, and a lot of them are applying, and a majority of our lifeguards are UA high school students or in their surrounding area.
I asked a bunch of questions. I'll let you ask one, Steve.
So we've got pools opening, got day camp coming up. How many kiddos do we have in day camp?
Right around 310, and that would be there every day for the most part, which we have a day camp at Thompson North Shelter. One runs out of Reed Road Shelter, and the other one's down at Barrington Elementary this year.
So do we have the day camps back to quote unquote normal, normal? So when I started here 2.5 years ago, just in time to blow up our entire summer camp program with COVID, and got to watch you do some pretty amazing redesign of an entire program in the space of a month. To be able to help kids out. But are we kind of back to the traditional UA summer program?
We are 100% back to the normal capacity that we were at, with the same traditional activities, maybe some new twists, but this will feel very similar to pre-COVID.
Is it sold out, or can people still?
It is sold out. It's sold out in I think 4 days.
I thought you were going to say 4 minutes or something.
Well, so we offer 2 options. You could either register for the entire summer for those families who really need that custodial daycare, and then we also had a pay per day option. So the full summer option was available for about 2 days, and then at the end of those 2 days, we capped it, got ready for the pay per day registration, and that sold out in about 30 seconds. There were only about 50 spots available. But
what ages can do day camp?
6 to 12 for our traditional day camp, and then our therapeutic rec camp, it's 7 to 13.
Okay, clarification on a couple of things. One is custodial day camp does not mean that your kid is pushing a mop and a broom and cleaning out classrooms and that sort of stuff, right? It means that we're there to kind of serve that kind of childcare thing, right?
Correct.
You might be onto something.
Yeah.
Combine forces.
The
here.
schools might give us a break. Yeah. And then you said therapeutic camp. Why
Yes.
don't you explain for folks a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, our therapeutic camp, which is serves our individuals with special needs and both mental and physical disabilities, and it's led by our CTRS, our Certified Therapeutic Recreation Specialist, Patrick Monahan, who's also our Senior Center Manager, and his team. So our staff for that are typically students going into intervention or special education, and that program runs concurrently with Barrington Elementary in the same setting, and they'll do much of the same activities every day. Some days they spend the entire day together, some days they do their own thing, but for the most part it just runs there with a little bit extra support.
And I did want to have you talk about that because I think it's one of the really great things that we do to make sure that, we've got a spot for every kid in the community, and that we're making sure that all kids are kind of feeling welcome in that space.
And I have to give him a shout out for spelling out what it said, because a lot of people will drop some letters, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, and you're the first one to actually spell it out on your own. I don't remember what it was, but it was good.
Don't make me try it again.
Yeah, you had it written down.
So what other fun stuff do we got going on this summer?
Well, in addition to the traditional summer camp, we also have a lot of half-day camp programs. So there's lots of programs that run from 9 to noon or 9 to 11 or 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. And some of them you can actually register your child to take part in the morning, stay for lunch, and then take part in a different activity in the afternoon. So these topics range from sports to our STEM programs to musical theater. Our Cultural Arts Division does a lot of programming with over at the barn with musical theater, with musicians in general. And there's just lots of different program opportunities for the community to take part in. And that's just, that's really just from a youth perspective. We have loads of opportunities for adults and seniors as well. You were talking about pickleball earlier. It's probably one of the hottest, if not the hottest program we have, and we have about 8 opportunities for pickleball now. We started with 1, and now we can't meet the need right now. We're
Maybe
still
you can
adding
have
more.
like an internal challenge with that program that the winners get to take on the dream team of me and Steve.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
that
you're
would
ready.
not help. But we already can't handle the demand, Darren.
We don't have too many people crashing the system.
You know how it is with they get in line at like 6 a.m. for day camp and those kinds of things. We don't need them doing that for pickleball.
We don't want to break.
They
pickleball.
do that for pickleball.
They do that.
Yeah, we had people. We were here at 6 a.m. on registration. The only calls we got were pickleball. It's because they were desperate to get in the
crash
class.
the system.
We pre-crashed it because they knew. How do people find out about what programs are available? I know this is a dumb question, but for people who are new.
No, we send an activity guide to everybody. Every home in Upper Arlington gets our printed booklet, but we also have it online on our city website. And then also we have a recreation registration page, and it's parks.uaoh.net. And on there has the digital version of the activity guide, but then also you can browse through all of our options for programming. And you can use the search tools to filter out what you're looking for by age or by type or
There's
by
tons
day of the
of
week.
stuff in there. We're
There
naming
is,
some,
yeah.
but there's like art classes and there's just anything, right?
There's all kinds of stuff for all ages, and we pride ourselves on offering a great amount of activities. And the summer season, in this time pre-community center, this is our heaviest program season from April to August.
So one of the things we try and do in this segment is have folks get to know our team a little bit better. First question. So you said you listened to Sam's segment from last week where we talked about. You didn't listen. So in
No, the
Sam's
event
segment
was successful. He didn't
Yes,
bother listening
yes.
to us.
he didn't
I knew
bother
the event,
listening to us.
yeah.
No, the program was successful. Well, in Sam's segment, Darren pulled out the most amazing piece of useless trivia.
It was arcane, but
It was
true.
arcane.
Do you know how tall Smurfs are?
No, with 2 kids I should, but no.
They're 3 apples tall. And I did go back and confirm it on the internet. It's true.
So how many apples tall do you think you are?
25.
I mean, I wanted to say no, but yeah, that could be about
That
right.
could be about right.
You're a tall dude.
Point being, Matt's not a small guy. You played sports in high school? Did you play in college?
Yeah, I played college football at Baldwin Wallace.
How'd you get into doing Rec and Parks program?
So my dad was the Parks and Recreation director in my hometown. So just kind of watched him growing up and seeing the impact that he had. And he was always the guy that got pulled into 5 and 10 minute conversations everywhere he went because he was visible and helping the community have fun. So I started kind of being his helper and moving stuff around, and then eventually I don't think this would happen now, but I got the blessing from the mayor to work in his department, which I was just
for those of you listening right now, that is not how it works.
And I was just telling
the attorney would say, no.
I was telling this story the other day. I'm sure that nobody has ever been harder on an employee than those supervisors that I had. But so I worked in parks maintenance. I worked in the rec center. I worked in camps and all that. And then I went to college for sport management and had an internship in Strongsville at their rec and parks program for 2 years. And then I did, everybody that goes in sport management, they want to work in pro sports. So I was like, let's try it. So I worked for the Indians for a year, just like game day stuff. And then when it came time to go, and find a job, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to do those long hours and little pay and all that. And I found a job in Parks and Recreation upon graduating. And
what did you do for the Indians, dude? Did you
just guest services?
Like people wanting to buy tickets, or were you like in the mascot costume? Or what?
No, just welcoming. I wanted to run the hot dog race, but one, I wasn't sure I could fit in the hot dog costume, and then two, they wouldn't let me do it. So.
Did you try and steal the t-shirt cannon? Did they have a t-shirt?
No,
cannon?
That was for the promos team. I could not do that.
Could not get in there.
No, I would have wanted to do those Gatling gun ones.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd have been where it was at, but.
Now, I don't know if there's any legitimate purpose, but if we can get one for our summer programming, I would assume that'd be successful.
Keep waiting for police to seize one.
Oh.
Yeah. Surely the Blue Jackets could spare it for something.
No, we do have a connection.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking.
Periodically, but no, I think we should have police see if that qualifies as a firearm that could be seized if they come across one. Matt, thanks for coming on with us, and Darren, I think I'm starting to smell something else. What?
I smell something good this time.
I do smell something good. It smells a little bit like onions.
Delicious.
Like fried onions. Matt, are you a fan of White Castle?
Yes, absolutely.
I know Matt is because I see him bringing it back.
Yeah, the Crave case.
So we, for our next segment, have the Slider Queen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lisa Ingram is coming on the pod. Matt, thanks for coming on. Thanks for everything you do here with the team. The amount of kids that you serve and the amount of good that you do in the community is fantastic. So
thanks for trying.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for trying, but just not doing.
Thanks for letting us win. I mean, we recognize that that's what really happened.
Well, in future podcasts, I'll expect kind of an update of how things played out the next time we got together.
No, definitely that's not gonna happen. No.
Yeah, we're gonna bleep all that out. All right, cool. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
You'll hit the link, listen to our podcast. We wrote a song about a podcast. Yeah.
Okay, we are back and ready to introduce a guest who we've been talking about since we founded the podcast, those 4 months ago.
This was on the get list.
This was on the get list.
You're making me up to be really...
This is the first time we've had a queen on the
Yes.
show. We have the Slider Queen.
Yes, you do.
On the show. We have the wonderful Lisa Ingram on the show today. Lisa is the CEO of White Castle and a lifelong, resident of UA.
Oh, I lived 10 years in Dallas, so
Okay.
almost a lifelong.
We allow sabbaticals like
Okay,
that
yeah,
in the
it was a
community. I think that's we'll start calling it that. We'll call it the UA sabbatical.
Right.
If you ever leave and come back, it's just a sabbatical.
Well, yeah, it's the tractor beam that brings you back.
Can't
so
escape.
You cannot escape it.
So Lisa just, much to our chagrin, informed us that she is not a loyal listener, so she has no idea what's in front of her. So
We're hoping we can get through the whole interview without her realizing she's made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
And walking out.
So we start every episode. So Darren and I are both fans of podcasts. I listen to a lot of sports podcasts, and there's something they do in sports podcasts sometimes called start, bench, cut. So we're going to give you 3 things. You say which one you would start, which one you would have on the bench, and which one you would cut.
Oh, boy.
So since it's Friday, we're going with the Meatless Friday edition.
Okay. You realize that I sell a lot of hamburgers.
Well, I know. So we
You
did our
do.
research.
However, we've done research.
You have options on your menu.
We do.
That someone could go
Yes,
on a
absolutely.
Meatless Friday.
We have the
And
Impossible Slider, yeah.
so we're going to ask you about 3 of those options.
Okay.
And you got to start one. And this doesn't mean cut doesn't mean it's off the menu, but it's like your
Okay,
least favorite.
got it.
You want to do it or you want me to do it?
You can do it.
Okay, so you've got the panko breaded fish slider.
Uh-huh.
You've got the fish nibblers.
Uh-huh.
And you have the Impossible slider.
Okay.
So what's the best, your favorite?
So I would start the Impossible slider. I would bench the nibblers, and I would cut the panko fish.
Wait a minute. I thought we were going to do clam strips.
Okay, so now that you started the slider,
So you're
that was
gonna,
too
you're,
easy.
You're
You
gonna
did that.
you're gonna redo this. Okay.
Slider's gone. We're putting in the clam strips. I did research.
So I would start the clam strips.
Whoa!
Ooh.
They went from off to the top.
Yeah, but I'm not a good person to ask on this because I really like my fish raw, and so we don't offer that at White Castle. So
White Castle is an extensive menu, but sushi is not on it. I can confirm that.
So if you'd said shrimp nibblers,
That's also on my list.
then
Yes.
that would have been absolutely the thing that I would start.
Over the Impossible slider.
Absolutely. I love our shrimp nibblers. They are spectacular. Unfortunately, they are only around during Lent, so we don't have them on the menu right now, but they are spectacular.
So you thought you were going to not have options on fish meatless Fridays,
Yes,
but you were incorrect.
Yeah, that's true. I just
all
wanted
right.
to remind you that I do sell a heck of a lot more sliders than
All right.
any of those products.
So now I'm going to do something else.
Okay.
I'm still staying away from burgers because
Okay.
we know White Castle sliders are
Sure.
iconic.
Yeah.
But you have other stuff on the menu.
We do. We
So
have
here's a
lots of other
second
stuff. Okay.
start bench cut for you.
Okay.
Chicken rings,
Okay.
the chicken and waffle slider,
Okay.
and the cake on a stick, which I was mesmerized by because I was like, how did they come up with this? But those are the three start bench cut.
Okay. I would start the chicken rings. I would bench the chicken and waffle, and I would cut. What was the last
Cake on a stick.
Cake on a stick. And those are really hard because I like all three of those.
Yeah, this is not an indictment on the cut.
Right.
We're forcing you into a very tough decision.
Yes.
I'm sure they're
yes.
all like
but
your
the
children.
chicken rings are spectacular and super yummy and very unique to our brand. And lots of people, we order a lot of chicken rings.
So how does one come up with the concept for a chicken ring?
So-
Last time I looked at a bird, there wasn't
Right.
anything.
It's
that
not a
was kind of-
particular
Right.
part
It's
of the
not like the
Right.
onion where you can come up with that
No.
naturally.
So we obviously wanted to have a chicken product that would be something that kids would like. And we didn't want to do a nibbler because there's lots of other people that are doing nibblers. Everything that we do is pretty unique. And so we found this product that was a ring product. And it's a breast. They just take the.
Oh, you can do that. It's good special effects.
Right. It just takes a form and presses it into the ring, or presses it into the breast, and you get a ring.
So are there like donut holes? Are there
So
chicken
I
ring
think
holes
that,
we
I
can
think
buy?
the chicken ring holes actually might go into somebody else's nuggets.
Oh, genius.
That would make sense.
Right.
Efficient.
Yeah.
So I love the story behind the chicken rings. I need to follow up on cake on a stick. Because
Okay.
on the one hand, it seems ridiculous. On the other hand, I ordered it and I was like,
It's so good.
It's cake and it's on a stick. It's genius.
So good.
Who came up
Which
with that?
one did you get?
Is like a cheesecake on a stick?
Yeah, cheesecake on a stick. The strawberry cheesecake on a stick is the newest one that we had. We introduced that for Valentine's Day, which is a big deal at White Castle.
I was going to ask you about that too. I
Okay.
was down in Florida and they had just opened a White Castle and the line was all the way around.
Miles.
And the people in our,
Miles
it was
long.
like snaked around.
Yep.
And the people at our hotel were like, this great new burger place opened up, hoping to try it. I'm only here for a week. And I was like, yeah, it's White Castle. Like, I eat it all the time. Oh, no, we've never had it before. So like,
Yeah.
they were like, but that's when I had the cake on a stick
Yeah.
the first time.
Yeah, so that's a great product.
So yeah, where's the stick come from?
So again, when we looked at our menu, we realized that we didn't have a lot of desserts. We have shakes, which we've been known for.
Yes.
And we've added smoothies, which you could use as a dessert or as a drink. And then we wanted to have a dessert that was portable, that we didn't have to do a lot of prep with in our kitchens because we have limited space to do that. And so, again, we found this product that was small, and we liked that it was on a stick. And so we brought it in, and it's been really good for us.
Here's the best thing about the cake on a stick.
That it's on a stick, because
Well-
anything on a stick is better.
Anything on a stick is inherently better because you can't share it.
Right.
Like, I have my cake on a stick. And like, can you split that with me? No, it's on a stick. It will fall off.
Well, it's also super portable, and you can eat it in the car. It makes it very easy to eat in the car.
It is, you don't have to use your fingers. It is genius.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm pumping up cake on a stick, but I did.
It's really good. So we have cheesecake on a stick, we have brownie on a stick, and the other one is a gooey butter cake on a stick.
We should have done this interview at a White Castle.
Yeah, we could. We totally should have done that.
We failed.
We failed miserably.
Spectacular failure.
Or at my new office where we have White Castle products, and
I'm getting so. Can we just cancel
So-
this and reschedule over there?
So even better, she has a slide.
I have a slide in my office.
Wait,
The
what?
those-
look on your faces is spectacular.
So we do have to do this on video because, by the way, did we introduce Brian? This is
Yes,
Brian Hedger.
yes.
So
Do you need lawyers? Just kidding.
they did everything. Brian and Darian did everything short of like jaw dropping. It was the whole like double take. What?
What?
It's like,
Yeah.
is she messing with us?
No.
There's a slide?
So there's a slide that goes from the second floor down to the first floor, and it's a spiral slide because we are the Sliders, and it is a tribute to our retail products. So in our plants, we have one in Vandalia, we have one in Covington, and we have one in Louisville. Our little 2-packs that we sell in the grocery stores, they go into a spiral freezer and go up the spiral freezer, and then they come down this little corkscrew thing that looks like a slide into the packaging area. And so we put that in our home office building, one, because it's fun, two, because it's a great tribute to a big part of our business.
Is that the only way down?
No, it's not the only way down,
But
but
do
if
you
you're
take it?
oh, absolutely.
So it's not just there for art. Like you will
no,
go down the
oh,
slide.
absolutely. I went down it yesterday.
This is amazing. Now you mentioned White Castle for some reason is one of those brands that is like more than just a food brand. Like everyone knows McDonald's and Burger King, but like White Castle has like a cultural thing. And
Well, let's talk about how Lisa like rolled in here. So she rolls
yeah,
in.
that's what I want to pivot to.
Yeah, and she's wearing this very. I appreciate the UA T-shirt.
Yes.
That's a good. I appreciate the shout out to us. And then you want to talk about what's on her feet?
Yeah, so I was looking at your shoes and I was like, those are cool. And then I look closer and like they're White Castle shoes. Can you
Yes.
talk about this?
Yes, so we have we've done a collab with Puma, and we launched this last year during our 100th birthday. So White Castle turned 100 years old. Again, the look on your face.
I'm staring at the shoes and I didn't realize you were 100 years old.
Darren, see, here's the thing, and just a secret. Darren always looks befuddled. It just,
So yes, last year was we were founded in 1921 by my great grandfather. So 2021 was our 100th birthday, and so we launched a lot of collabs. One of them was with Puma to make some White Castle shoes, and so this is the third rendition that I'm wearing. It is the cheeseburger.
And it looks very, it doesn't look like a cheeseburger. It has elements that evoke cheeseburgerness.
Yes, so it has lots of orange on it, and it has some green on there to signify the pickles.
Okay.
My shoestring, I forget what these little things are called at the end of the shoestrings.
The thing that lets you
the
put them through
tape.
the holes.
Yeah.
Like,
The hard
It says-
part.
The hard tape part, yeah.
It says 1921, which is when, or 2021 when we were founded, in 1921. And it's got White Castle on the back. There's a White Castle in my shoe. There's 5 cents because that's the original price that we sold, that my great grandfather sold them in
The
1921.
level of detail on this shoe is amazing.
Yeah.
And actually,
And they're super stylish.
they look
they
cool.
are really cool.
Don't trust me because I don't have any fashion, but they actually look very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, they're great.
I'm going to go look for those shoes. There are other ones too, you say?
Yes, so there's 3 different kinds, and this is the newest one, but there's 2 others that I have and that my whole family has that are more White Castle colors, very cool. But I picked these because they sort of matched the UA colors, so.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah.
Now, and how does, okay, I'm going to get into more of these collaborations, but how does like a Puma White Castle collaboration come about? Like, did they call you and say, hey, we love White Castle, hook us up, or what's going on?
So we certainly have lots of partners that are looking for opportunities to expand our brand into communities that we think resonate with White Castle. And so we have some of those partners that work with us. So whether it's Puma, or we are doing a partnership with DGK, which is a skateboard company, or
When you say
Funko.
So now you're just tripping my brain. So there's going to be a White Castle skateboard? Or
So there are 2 White Castle skateboards. One is super cool because it's, I'm not going to get the art on it right, but it's a woman and she's holding a burger, and when you tilt the skateboard, she moves.
Like a hologram?
Yeah, no, not like a hologram. It's
Like those things that
yeah.
when you move it, you can.
Yeah.
I call it a hologram, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
like a lenticular thing. I think.
Yes. And then there's one, so that's one of them, and then the other one, and there's several of them, but the 2 that I have at my house, one of them just has beautiful picture of White Castles on the bottom. So one of my kids loves to skateboard, and he's very upset with me because I won't let him use those skateboards because
They look too cool.
They're too cool, like they're art. So
And you did reference my favorite thing. There is a White Castle Slider Funko.
there is a White Castle Slider Funko. Yes. And
White
we
Castle's
actually
everywhere.
have White Castle Halloween costumes, so you can buy a you can buy Slider box.
Darren keeps looking more and more like befuddled. I told you it's just his constant face.
Right.
Don't let it distract you.
I love White Castle, but like I didn't realize the depth of your pop culture reach.
Well, we're so as a 100-year-old brand, it's really important that we continue to try to be relevant to the next generation. Our cravers love us. They don't want us to change anything about the slider. They don't want us to change anything about the restaurants. But the younger generations, they want to see that we're cool and we're hip and we're doing fun things with different communities and engaging with them in a way that's different than we have engaged with prior generations.
All right, this may be fake news. Can you verify that there's a White Castle NFT?
There is a White Castle NFT. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay,
one.
hold on.
I'm telling you, they're everywhere.
No. What is an NFT? No, I can't figure out what. I'm trying to find something to stump her at this point.
That you pay for and that you own and you have the rights to. And, it's a cool thing. I don't know a lot about it. This is an area that is not my area of expertise.
Explain the blockchain technology behind the White Castle NFT, please.
No. But yeah, so we minted, I think, about 1,000 NFTs, which is really super cool. And we're continuing to do that as long as there's people out there that want to buy them. But now a lot of them are in the secondary market. So I think you go to OpenSea and you can buy.
Go find one. I need to go
Yeah.
buy a White Castle NFT just to say I have it.
Yeah.
Your wife's gonna be like, "What happened to the bank account?" I had an interview with Lisa Ingram,
I
and I
invested.
got new shoes. I got a new Funko Pop. I've got a skateboard, and
this NFT.
I have this NFT because
Yeah.
and she's gonna be like, "Darren, could you not have just gotten a T-shirt? I mean, a T-shirt would have been fine."
I mean, the shoes she'll probably be cool with because they look awesome. Last thing I had to talk about, and I'll let Steve ask his question. These are all my geeky questions.
Okay.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
Yes.
So how did that come about? I'm assuming they had to call you and be like, "Hey, can we make a whole movie about
Yeah.
going to your restaurant?"
Yeah,
Or did you call them?
It's
did
a
you
great
call Harold
story.
and Kumar?
It's a great story. So it is not unusual for people to write stories or songs about White Castle. So the Beastie Boys have put us in their songs, Smithereens. These two guys out of Jersey, these two screenwriters, wrote this screenplay about White Castle. Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. And that was not really unusual. What was unusual was that New Line Cinema decided that they wanted to make the movie. And so at that point, they then had to come talk to us about whether or not they could do it. And at the time, my father was the CEO. And so Jamie, who's my cousin, he was the marketing guy. He came in and he said, "Bill, we have this movie opportunity where we'd be in the name. It'd be all about White Castle. And it has a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll in there."
Yeah, that's accurate.
So what do you think? And my dad asked two really important questions. He asked, "Does the movie make fun of our products?" No. It's actually a great tribute to our products. And so the second question, does the movie make fun of our team members or our customers? No. It's another great tribute to two customers who love White Castle, that go on this great adventure to get this product that they love, which is not dissimilar from stories that we hear from our regular customers about the lengths that they will go to get a White Castle when they really want it.
How many White Castles are there? Because it feels like one of those brands that like everyone knows about, but they're not everywhere.
We are not everywhere. We have about 345 locations, but our retail product is in all 50 states. So we're a little bit different in that respect. But since we don't franchise, we're all company owned. Our growth has been much, much slower than other big brands.
That was one of the genius things about the movie. It's like everyone has that experience. Like I would really go for a White Castle right
Yeah.
now, but I don't necessarily have one next door now. We're
Right.
blessed by having one really close.
Right.
So where you're missing one, and I'm just flabbergasted by this. How do you not have one in Athens,
In Athens,
Ohio?
Ohio.
Or Greece, either
right.
one. I mean,
Or maybe you have one in Georgia or Georgia.
Yeah, yeah,
I would think the college town thing would be.
You would think that the challenge is that we actually do most of our business at lunch and dinner. And so
really?
Yeah.
I would have just guessed like 2 a.m. is like your Boku Bucks time.
No, we actually do a large percentage, over half of our business or more, during lunch and dinner. And so we need a place that has all day parts, breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night, ideally. And college towns don't necessarily have that.
Okay. So I did really like the story about the questions that your dad asked about Harold and Kumar, because I think they are a great segue to, you guys are a ton of fun. And it's funny you talk about Jamie. I remember when you guys did the groundbreaking.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering this right, Jamie dressed up as a town crier.
He did not dress up as a town crier, but we
hired
we
one.
have a town crier, and he appears at many of our events.
You have your own town crier?
Well, we hire somebody who is an actor.
But is it the same guy?
It is the same guy.
So he's yours. That's
So I don't know. He's an actor, so maybe he does town crier stuff for other people.
town crier for hire. He's a mercenary town crier.
He's a great guy. He's from New York. He's an actor, and so. So yeah, we hired a town crier, and in any of our groundbreakings, we did this for the home office. We did it for Vandalia. It's very sacred to us, and we make sure that the ground is prepped to have the most fruitful growth of whatever building that we're building. So we sprinkle the ground with onions.
And you want to tell them what the shovels?
Oh right, yes, the shovels. So we sprinkle the ground with hydrated onions. And we do the groundbreaking with spatula shovels, big spatula
like
shovels.
shovel-sized spatulas?
Yes, that say White Castle on them.
Or spatula-sized shovels. No, shovel-sized spatulas. What do you ascribe the connection people have to White Castle? I mean, I told you all those other brands, they have more chains, but people have this thing about White Castle.
They do.
They would buy a shoe with White Castle
They
on
do,
it.
yeah, which is really, from any branding standpoint, is a wonderful attribute to have, and something that we continually talk about and try to make sure that, again, we're relevant to the next generation, creating memories. So our mission statement is to create memorable moments every day. We really believe that that's part of the essence of the brand. And really that came from being, having generations of customers that would come to White Castle, and they would bring their children and they would bring their grandchildren. So there's a lot of memories that are created with people of enjoying our product with family members or friends that make them smile, that make them happy, that give them a good feeling about life and whatever they're trying to achieve. And so that blossomed into wanting to have us at lots of fun events like tailgates and weddings. We get asked to be at weddings a lot. We get asked to be at a lot of funerals as well, and celebrations of life. And so all of those events, if you grow up on a brand and you have really good memories associated with that, then you want to have that more at the different events in your life. And so we're really fortunate to be able to have that. And when we opened the store in Orlando, we had it was the most unbelievable opening. Customers were waiting 6 hours in line.
I know. I think I was there. If it's the same one, I was staying across the street.
There's only
from
one
it.
in Florida, so it's the
I was
same
there.
one.
I was
Yes.
literally there when it opened, just
Yes.
by happenstance. And
Yes.
it was insane.
It was insane.
And
But
people didn't know what. They were like, this is some great new burger place.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
It's not really new, but
Right,
yeah, please go.
right.
You'll like it.
Yeah, but we have great clips of customers talking about why they love the brand. And, they talk about the burgers. The burgers are very unique. The taste is very unique. And it revolves around the product. It revolves around the fact that we've been around for a long time, and that there's lots of memories that they have growing up of going with family and friends. And our team members, who we have a tremendous longevity in our industry. And so a lot of our team members know our customers personally. They know everything about their family. If they don't show up one day, they get worried and they'll call the customer to make sure they're okay. So there's lots of those elements that really create sort of the mystique, not the mystique, but
We can call it
the
mistake.
reverence and the craveability of the product.
You mentioned memories. You talked about it earlier, Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So first of all, for people who don't know, what does White Castle do on Valentine's Day? 'Cause
Yes.
This is hilarious. Or it's awesome, I guess I'll say.
So Valentine's Day is a very special day at White Castle, and this started, like 20 years ago. So to dine in at White Castle on Valentine's Day, you actually have to make a reservation. So in 2019, this was prior to the pandemic because we didn't do it the last couple of years. We had over 36,000 reservations on OpenTable for one night, which is just
And it's not just eating it, you do it up.
yes. So when you come in, you are seated at a table. There's a tablecloth. We give you a menu. There's usually some flowers. We have a cool place for you to take a picture, and we serve you. And it's a wonderful way to celebrate Valentine's Day in a unique setting and with a product hopefully that you really love. The shrimp nibblers are always there.
Okay.
They're always there during Valentine's Day, and so it's been a great experience for us. And it started because we had in a castle in Minneapolis, a general manager had a couple that she knew that came to White Castle a lot. They didn't have a lot of money, but they were celebrating something. I don't know if they met at White Castle or they were sweethearts. So she said, come in and I'll treat you on Valentine's Day. And so when they came in, she had set up just one table with a reserved sign and with a tablecloth and some flowers, and she made a little menu and she served them. That was so popular that the next year she did her whole castle that way, and that continued to be so popular that we did the whole region, and so it just sort of expanded, and now we've been doing it across our whole system for the last 10 or 15 years, and it's always a big day.
On my bucket list.
Yeah, it's a great experience. It's just a lot of fun, and you get in and out. You obviously are not paying for steak dinner, but
That's partially why it's on my bucket
Although
list.
you could go surf and turf. I mean, you could get a slider. and a
yeah,
surf
you
nibbler.
could. That's true. You could get a surf and turf.
And cake on a stick.
At White
cake on a
Castle.
stick.
That's right.
So, one of the things that I've really appreciated in kind of my experiences with you and getting to know the company a little bit, because I was at City Columbus when they did the new home office, and is the thoughtfulness that you talk about with the brand and with the business doesn't just stop at the castle, doesn't just stop at the store. You kind of work that through the entirety of the business and through your philanthropic stuff. So I know one of the things that has been big for you and for the entire company is being very thoughtful about how you do business, whether that's on diversity issues or on issues of sustainability. Talk to us a little bit about how you all approach those things.
Sure. So my great-grandfather, when he started the company, he always said that we cannot expect loyalty except to whom we are loyal, and he was referring to the team members. So he founded the company in 1921. In 1924, he started offering health insurance. In 1928, he started to encourage retirement savings. And so we've always been very focused on creating a great work environment for our team members, and we've been really proud that the last 2 years we've actually been certified as a great place to work. So we're really proud of that. And our focus on team members has really come from the team members in the castles. So we have 10,000 team members. 97% of them work in the castles. And we have been in the neighborhood so long that we have, the neighborhoods have turned over several times, and we have a very diverse workforce. And I just gave a speech earlier and talked about this, that, for many years we had white males at all levels of management, and that was typical of any businesses. But we've been very, very intentional over the last 20 years to create a environment where every team member can see somebody that looks like them, either gender, race, sexual orientation. And so we've put a lot of processes in place to work on that, and I'm really happy about our stats now. 75% of our managers and above are female, 54% of them are ethnically diverse. My executive team is half female and half ethnically diverse, and our board of directors, we just added our first person of color, and so we have ethnic diversity there. So every level, we're looking at how we can make sure that we are representing our communities very, very well. On the flip side, on the community giving, that's always been something that has been part of our foundation as well. My great-grandfather, he started our Columbus Foundation, I think in the 40s, 1940 something, and we have been very focused on philanthropy in Columbus especially, and have worked with the Columbus Foundation, and they do a wonderful job for us. and we give about $2.5 million a year to organizations in Columbus that do great work for lots of different causes.
Did you have any that are nearest and dearest to your heart in particular?
Well, so I sat on the United Way board for 9 years, and so certainly that's an organization that I'm passionate about. Childhood League is another organization that I've been passionate about. As a company, we have focused a lot around Autism Speaks. I have a half brother who is autistic, and he's 30 now. So he was diagnosed early, and really that has been a focus for our company as well, as to every April, which is National Autism Awareness Month, we ask customers if they want to donate, and we make donations as well to Autism Speaks. So that's been a big focus for us. But we've also allowed in each of the regions that we operate, our district supervisors, who will have about 10 castles, they get to pick the charity that they're most passionate about.
Oh, cool.
And so we because there are lots of amazing charities out there and organizations that are doing great work, and we probably don't know about many of them, but our districts and our people in the field do. And so we've set up that program and have been doing that for the last couple of years, which has been really, really, really engaging, really, really exciting for our team members.
I don't know if this counts as charity, but White Castle has been at the Zoofari Zoo
Yes.
event, and I just want to thank you from a personal perspective, because I just grabbed a bunch of those on the way
Yes.
out. I was like,
And
Yes.
you've been on the Zoo Foundation board yourself, right? Or-
I'm the president of the Friends of the Zoo
That's
and
what-
an
that's what I meant.
association board. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I enjoy White Castle being there. So if you're ever on the fence, just say Darren really enjoys those White
Yep.
Castles there.
Yep. That's always been a great event.
So, we've talked a lot about the stores, and we've talked a lot about the business. You also have this thing called being a mom,
Yes, I do.
and
I'm so much more than White Castle, guys.
That's my other full-time job.
that is your other full-time job. So, and you've got, this. You do have this husband guy.
Yes.
I didn't mean to use the guy pun, but Greg guy.
Yes.
So, and Greg himself is very busy.
Yes, he's spectacular in his own right.
Yes, he is. I wouldn't say spectacular. I mean spectacular. Really?
Yes, I'm his wife. I can say that.
No,
He's handsome. He's smart. He's very successful. He's a wonderful father and husband,
So,
and he's super funny.
Now he has to listen to this episode.
so
Name checked.
if you two were to have a company together,
Oh God, no, we cannot work together.
All these nice things you just said, completely erased.
so I have to confess.
As long as I'm the CEO and he's
So I reached out to Greg and asked him a couple questions.
oh gosh.
And one of the things he told me was that I should ask you what it would be like if the two of you worked together. and I'm not surprised by your reaction. The other thing he warned me about is he said that mid-morning,
Which we're hitting.
which we're hitting. I mean, we started this
Right.
at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You hit a certain point where you need to have something to keep you going. So
You brought me my breakfast.
I brought you vanilla Chobani
Yes.
Greek yogurt,
Yes.
Kind granola,
Yes.
and agave nectar.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
You only missed one thing, but that's
Oh, no,
really
what
good.
did I miss?
Fresh blueberries.
Steve, go pick some blueberries somewhere.
Greg,
fresh.
you did not tell me blueberries. I'm going to go back and look at the email, and I do not think you had blueberries. So if she's
So he
hangry,
doesn't know me that well.
if she's
After
hangry,
20 years.
if she's hangry at the office for the rest of the day, it's not my
Right.
fault.
It's not your fault.
So this has been really fun. We finish our interviews all the time with two questions.
Okay.
These are okay. We've
These are
gotten
okay.
all the bad ones out.
Okay.
Darren's asked all his questions.
Okay.
I'm done.
Yeah. You said you've lived in UA for all your life except for 10 years.
Yeah.
What do you love about UA, and what would you change about UA?
So I love the traditions of UA. So 4th of July, the Halloween stuff, the stuff at Christmas with the tree lighting. All of those things are amazing, and I have lots of wonderful memories of doing football games and all sorts of stuff that my kids now get to experience. So I really I love that about our community. I love that there's a big focus on the schools, and not just from an academic standpoint, but also from an inclusion standpoint, and really making each child feel like they're special and that there's opportunities for them to be successful in whatever they want to do. What else? Those are probably the two things that I love the most. I think the things that I would change about UA, I would love for there to be more diversity, more ethnic diversity. I would love for there to be sidewalks everywhere. As a runner, I would really like to be able to run on sidewalks versus running in the streets. And I would love for there to be more walkable shopping spaces. And so I'm excited about the redevelopment of Kingsdale, the little strip that's down by Jones, which is where we live. I'm always excited when there's new restaurants in there. And so to be able to have those types of amenities, I think just makes the community even better than it is.
Yeah, and those are pretty consistent themes that we get when we ask those questions. I think our community really is, people love it here because they love the sense of community.
Yeah. And the fact that, there's so many people that, I went to high school with that still live here. And so it's fun to be able to go and see them at our kids' soccer games. That's the other thing that would change. We need better We need better, fields.
Working on it.
So actually, we've no, in all seriousness, we have spent the better part of the last year actually doing a really detailed study to look at how do we balance two elements of safety as it comes to our fields. Playability and injury prevention, and while minimizing the treatments that we do on the fields, particularly with synthetic herbicides and pesticides. We're going to be taking to council the results of the work that we did to say, okay, here's how we think we can responsibly improve our fields, because people are really passionate about making sure that we don't do anything that could injure the environment or do damage to the environment or potentially be hazardous in terms of what we put on the fields. But our fields. Yeah, our fields are lumpy. I have kids that play soccer and lacrosse, and whenever it rains, us not being able to play, and other communities don't have that as much, where they have to shut the fields down. And so those types of things, having flat surfaces that they can run on, where the ball moves because they kick it, not because it hits a and
I think you're being a little bit too demanding here. You really need to have those things in a sports field. Come on now.
Do we need our athletic field to be consistent?
Does it need to have grass on it? Come on. I'm just kidding.
They're green. They're green part of the year.
Right. But that being a small little request aside, Arlington is an amazing place. It's an amazing place to grow up. I have, so many memories of just having a great experience, feeling very safe, feeling very challenged, having tremendous opportunities to do lots of different things at high school, and being challenged by school. That could be a whole nother podcast. And so I'm excited that continues, and that tradition has continued, and that people are very passionate about continuing to make the community better. I think that we can continue to trust those who are in the roles that they're in to make good decisions, and my hope is that continues as well.
So one of the things that we've been worried about this entire series of podcasts, this is what, 10 or 11? Yeah,
Ish.
something like that, ish. Is no one when we've asked the "what would you change" question has said city leadership. So that's been a positive.
Always
So
positive.
That's the only reason we're doing this, just to make sure.
We have low standards, and just so that people don't say, yes, you two need to be gone.
Otherwise, city's great.
Otherwise, everything's fine. Well, thank you for coming on. I'm watching Darren on his iPad. He is desperately searching
I'm looking for the White Castle
White
shoes.
Castle shoes.
I told you.
The blue ones are completely legit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to find some.
I'm looking at them. They are pretty
Cool.
sweet.
I
They're
like
super
yours,
cool.
but the blue ones are like the package.
They are more White Castle. Like, you look at those and they're like, oh yeah, those are White Castle. You look at these and you have to go, why is she wearing orange? And
Yours are like the artistic version, interpretation,
yeah.
and these are like White Castle boxes on your feet.
Yes.
Not that boxy, but they have the look.
So
Yes.
I've got two boys, one of whom literally, he will not wear shoes if they look
Uncool?
too good. No,
Oh.
no, if they look too good, he
You mean like cool
like
look-
clean.
Oh, clean.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like clean, yes. He'll wear his shoes literally until they are unwearable.
Yeah.
My other one would have me buying him $500 shoes twice a week, and so I always like to come out and surprise them with some sneaker game. So I'm gonna have to look at
These would definitely be an original.
those
for them.
would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Lisa, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I know we're pushing it with your mid-morning snack here at this point, so I think we're going to
Throw yogurt at her.
I think I'm going to let you have your yogurt. And thank you for coming on. Thank you for doing everything that you do for the community. This was a ton of fun. I learned a
Thank you for bearing with our questions, because I had a lot I need to learn
Darren's
about,
questions
I guess.
were
Mine were bad.
problematic.
Steve's were like professional, and mine were just like, I need to know this.
No, your questions were actually pretty good this time.
Thank you.
This time.
Friends again.
All right. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you for having me.
All right.